study this in greater detail, we now have Kainat Chainwala, AVP Commodity Research at Kotak Securities, now joining us. Kainat, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. And we will talk about steel and aluminium in just a bit. But before that, let's talk about the latest decision that came in from OPEC Plus, where they will be increasing output yet again for the third consecutive month. The next meeting, of course, is scheduled to happen on the 30th of November. But till then, what kind of course do you expect OPEC Plus to take, and demand supply, how is that expected to shape up over the next 6 months?
Thank you so much for having me. So yeah, like we saw in the last meeting, it was on expected lines that they announced 4 lakh 11,000 barrels per day increase. But what needs to be seen here that clearly the stance of OPEC has shifted from defending the prices to the major producers, at least they are now looking at reclaiming their market share, and that's visible with the accelerated pace of output hikes. Now, even having said that, there were a certain members of the OPEC Plus group who were looking at a pause in the rate in the output hikes, most notably Russia. So probably in the next meeting that we are having in July, on July 6th, probably we could see a change in the stance, or it could remain, as it is. If there's a change in the stance, definitely it will be a temporary boost for prices. If it continues as it is, then we might see the unwinding of the entire 2.2 million barrels per day that they had done last year. It would be done by October. And, this was supposed to be, it was scheduled to be done or end by the end of 2026. So this is quite, accelerated pace of rate hikes, output hikes. But having said that, in the near term, what I see is that the timing of this production hike is, quite actually works out for them, because this is the summer, summer in the US. And we have seen a sharp decline in US inventories also. And going by the trend for the last 10 years, if you see there's, 2.5 million barrels inventory drop every week, and 30 to 35 million barrels during the summer season. So if that continues this year also, then we might end up somewhere near 400 million barrels inventories in the US, which is almost like 8% lower compared to the 5-year average for that time, for the end of season, which is end of August. So I feel this is definitely going to be a little, it's not very negative as it was considered earlier, because right now there, extra barrels could be absorbed by the markets given the summer demand. So I think we'll have to see in the coming months how the overall policy pans out, because there are differing views in the group, and even Saudi and Russia both have a same idea of actually reclaiming their market share. But with Russia being a little more on the side of pausing output hikes reportedly, we might see the pace could slow down in the coming months, and that could also be positive. So in the near term, yes, there are factors that could hold prices or cushion the oil prices, and even the geopolitical tensions, like we saw this weekend itself, that we were expecting that probably because of the output hike by OPEC Plus as expected, or because this is an accelerated output hike. It's not that it's something that's lower. But since there were reports on Friday that it could be even higher, so this actually came as a positive surprise for markets, that they've kept it on the similar lines as for May and June. So I think overall, in the near term, we do expect that despite the production hikes, probably the oil prices are likely to remain supported. One, by the summer demand. Second, the inventory drawdowns. And third, the geopolitical tensions in Russia, Ukraine, and in the Middle East.
These are some of the factors which could cushion oil prices going forward. But since you told us that perhaps we could see complete unwinding of 2.2 million barrels per day by October this year, if that actually goes through, how much could oil prices fall by? And do you see Brent falling below $60 per barrel in the near future?
In the next 2-3 months, I am a little positive, because, like I said, that Russia, they had reportedly suggested for a pause, and may probably, go ahead, again suggest a pause in the July meeting. So if that happens, then, crude oil remains supported, and even by the summer demand. But yes, if they continue with their accelerated output hikes, which, ends in October, when the summer demand also won't be there, and probably, inventories also, the drawdowns would slow. So, and definitely given by, this is only on the supply side. On the demand side, things are not really looking very positive for crude oil, given the uncertain policy macro outlook. So I feel because of that, yes, definitely there is room for more downside, especially in the last quarter of this year, and we may see Brent moving below $60 a barrel. But
Okay,
that
good.
could come in the last quarter, because this quarter I think it looks a little well supported.
Okay, so perhaps oil could slip below $60 per barrel in the last quarter of this year. But let's also talk about steel and aluminium then. Now that Trump has increased tariffs to 50%, how do you expect global demand supply equation to shape up, and do you think this will perhaps increase prices in the global market?
See, for steel and aluminum specifically, I would say that, I mean, like we saw in copper also, the reaction was pretty intense, because now markets are also fearing that, Trump might also announce a tariff on copper. And in case of aluminum also, inventories have been, drawing down. So I think that is also kind of supportive for prices. But yes, this could actually lead to, again, like we saw in case of gold also, there was a shift from London to the US markets, the COMEX. The same thing could happen in case of aluminium also. The inventory drawdowns could, again accelerate in the coming weeks and months, pushing LME prices higher. And COMEX prices even, higher, relatively higher. So I think this is, kind of in the near term at least, it's a positive for the LME prices. But it's a very temporary positive, because this is more like about the shift happening from the London markets to the US markets. So, but I mean, if we look at the macroeconomic backdrop, because copper, aluminium, China is the major consumer. If Chinese economy, if it continues to show mixed signs, and the stimulus also that's announced so far has not been very, fruitful in pushing, the economic momentum. So if we see that it's continuously lagging on that front, then definitely, after this temporary uptick, prices won't be able to sustain at higher levels. But yes, if Chinese economy picks up, and the uncertainty regarding the US-China, trade-off that's going on right now, if it settles down, then definitely it's, we may see prices, moving higher. But I think for next 2-3 months, for metals, I would say it would be probably a range-bound kind of trade, wherein the tariff-related details, if it's specific to copper, aluminum, it might move the prices higher. Otherwise, it is going to hurt sentiments and weigh on prices. So that's going to happen. But yeah, the major driver, or this, if there has to be any sustained uptick in metal prices, then definitely I think Chinese economic momentum needs to pick up. And for that, the major, I think the trigger would be the developments on the US-China front, which right now looks very volatile, given that we've seen that, again, after a temporary truce, again, Trump has raised, accused China of breaking the trade truce. So I think things are going to remain a little volatile, because of which, we might see the same thing in the metal space. Because if I talk about the micro, both copper and aluminum inventories are going down on the LME. Okay, so the fundamental supply demand, it is still, kind of supportive. But because of the macros, prices won't be able to have a sustained uptick. So yeah, in the next 2-3 months, I feel that metals are going to be a little range bound. And then, depending on the developments or progress in the US on the US-China trade front, we might see a movement in the base metal prices.
Okay, so metal prices are likely to remain range bound. That's the word coming in. Kaina, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here today on ET Now.